A Mario and Sonic crossover game. Some people on YouTube talked about this or are talking about this. It's possible enough those people became rather tired or bored of the theme of the Olympics and would like to imagine or speculate something new and different. Ideas are already being proposed. Most, if not all, are rather opinion based, even though factual stuff is applied. At least as of now, there's no telling if there even can be another game besides something based on the Olympics. But we should look at what makes the two franchises successful, and from there, depict whether or not such an achievement can be doable. First of all, even in the case of video games, a crossover game is best possible if the two franchises are owned by one company. So Nintendo owning the Mario franchise and Sega owning the Sonic franchise is the first issue to look at. If a Mario and Sonic crossover game is to be possible, the two companies need to have equal involvement in order to be equally credited somehow. One company developing the game and the other distributing it, or even either of the two companies doing double duty, it just doesn't sound or feel appropriate to me. Either they both produce and release the game together, or they have some other companies do it while still being involved in the development. It's just my opinion. It's only how I can picture it. Neither method might be safe and functional and even legal, but it's how I like the involvement of Nintendo and Sega. Next, they need to decide what kind of game it should be. The first option is if the game ought to be a platformer, basically a storyteller. What platformer isn't? A spin-off game, on the other hand, sounds much more reasonable. Now, if the crossover game works much better as a spin-off, which one should it be? And that's what I talk about for the next couple of paragraphs. We can already experience the characters involved in Olympics, but what about other sports? Can the characters compete against each other in tennis or golf or basketball? I personally would like to see them playing cricket. The Mario franchise accomplished it numerous times, so why not have Sonic and Company try it? It would be interesting enough to see the Sonic characters wearing uniforms and other sports attire. A racing game has got to be the best recommendation. It's the best subgenre of the entire Mario franchise, and the Sonic franchise has only done it a few times as any fan can remember. Now, if there was to be a game like that, it's got to be something unique. Race tracks and items would have to be original, but there could still be customization options for go-karts or whatever particular racing vehicles there may be. A party game is kind of the second best subgenre of the Mario franchise. The mini-games at the very least should be fun as well as easy to understand playing them. Can some elements of the Mario Party mini-games be reused? Maybe. A role-playing game is kind of rare for Sonic to be in, whereas the Mario franchise accomplished it several times. I don't know how much interest the crossover would be as a role-playing game, but granted that those of the Mario franchise get satisfactory reception, my best suggestion would be to do something similar to at least one of those games. Whatever the genre of the game, characters have to be allowed to appear. If it's a main platformer game, we might only see selected characters, but we can see many more in a spin-off game. But whatever game it is, the main protagonists and antagonists have to be present. No question about that. Should there be brand new characters unique to the game? That depends. Correct me if I'm wrong, but every platformer game has to have a plot. Some spin-off games also have a story mode, and some of which surely work in their games. In the case of Mario and Sonic, what is the best reason for both of them to be in the same universe, or at least in one game? Does it really work that characters from one franchise's universe are in another universe of another franchise of characters? Or is it easier for characters of the both franchises to be in such one universe that they never experienced before? And what about the gameplay? What's the same about the two franchises is that they both have mainline platformer games and spin-off games as well. Talking about platformers, those of Mario and Sonic have just about everything a regular platformer should have. But one series is played at a faster pace than the other. In the Sonic games, you're often required to finish a level within a time frame to get the best grade possible. Meanwhile, in the Mario games, even if it may not be all the time, you can take your time to think your way through the levels. So, if a Mario and Sonic game crossover is to occur in a platformer, my best suggestion is for there to be a balance between the two. If it means Mario has to pick up the pace while Sonic has to slow down from time to time, I guess that's what's required for the overall gameplay to be stable. As for the items to collect, if there's going to be a specific item serving as the main collectible, it's got to be something suited for the both franchises to be in one game. An experienced fan of both franchises remembers that Mario collects coins whereas Sonic collects rings. If coins were being collected, it's more likely a Mario game. And if rings were being collected, it's more likely a Sonic game. Also, the coins and rings serve different purposes. So I don't see that it should be either coins or rings or even both. However, I can accept that you can collect extra lives, special abilities, and even unique items classified as treasure. If you ask about the soundtrack, I can't say anything about the musical score or hit songs to implement in such a game. All I really can say is the music should be neither more Mario than Sonic, nor more Sonic than Mario. And the last thing to consider is what console to release the game on. Well, obviously, Nintendo always releases their games on their consoles, whereas Sega releases their games on all other platforms and wasn't as effective with their own consoles. So the game ought to be released on only the latest and newest Nintendo console. No Xbox and no PlayStation. But what about PC? When other consoles aren't possible to acquire for some people, the PC seems the best option. There must be some gaming companies who would have done that. At the end of the talk, there would have to be a lot of questioning as to how this crossover game can actually work at its fullest. There'd have to be the best possible way Nintendo and Sega can actually cooperate on it. A Mario and Sonic game was something sudden. Even with the Olympics themed games, fans who actually are really into it would like to see more. Those people would like to see what else can be done. As for me, for a Mario and Sonic crossover game to be just right, the game must not be more Mario than Sonic, and not more Sonic than Mario. The distinguishable elements of both franchises need to be perfectly balanced. I'm not too much into either franchise, but there's always something from both of them that I can cherish, as well as a couple of aspects of the Olympics themed games. So, a Mario and Sonic crossover game can be possible, but it can only happen under the right terms and conditions. Until anything comes up, all those fans can do is make believe. If anyone was to ask me about what Mario and Sonic crossover game I want, that would be for another video. For now, I turn it over to you. Are Mario and Sonic your equally favorite video game franchises? Do you think they deserve a crossover? And if you do, what would you like to see in it? Let me know what you think. And thanks for watching.